Hey Flower Tribe, it's Kelly Lehman from Cranberry Fields Flower Farm, and I wanted to show you one of the favorite annuals that I plant in spring.
So these are my celosia, and I love celosia because they come in so many different varieties. And let me tell you a little bit about this plant. So this plant is bloom and bloom again, flower just like the zinnias. So check out this plant here. So it's got some of the older blooms that are here. These are like the middle guys. They're kind of older. And these are the little side shoots that come off it over here. You can tell that there's tons and tons of little side shoots. But what happens is these little tiny side shoots become giant like this over the course of a few weeks. You're going to have a continual bloom of all these side shoots up until the first frost. And here's a way to keep your celosia plants blooming until that first frost, for as long as it can possibly bloom. So if you deadhead some of these guys that are already starting to get kind of brown, because they're starting to go to seed. And once a plant goes to seed, it slows down flower production, and it knows that it's putting all of its efforts into making the seed for this plant. So if you want to have even more of these side shoots and more flowers, you could just give it a little clip. And I want to make sure I don't bug the bees over here. You want to make sure there's always some extra leaves left behind when you deadhead a plant, because that will help it to grow extra blooms. Another thing I love about celosia is that they are super easy to regrow the following year, because they make thousands and thousands of seeds on each of these little flower heads. And a lot of times they'll kind of replant themselves. So these seeds that they actually create will get shaken to the ground by the wind or by, butterflies or bees. And sometimes they'll actually replant themselves in the dirt. But if they don't, I actually have a video that I made for you showing you how to harvest your celosia seeds at the end of the fall. And then you just save them in a cool, dark place, and then you can replant them yourself to make sure that you get blooms the following year. So these gals are also drought tolerant like the sunflowers. So when you first plant them, it's almost like planting little fairy dust, like little pepper. So they're super, super tiny, tiny seeds, and you only have to put them with a tiny bit of topsoil on top. Just a tiny, tiny, tiny loose layering, because they don't like to be buried too deep. So you don't even have to dig out that extra inch. You basically sprinkle them and then put some very loose topsoil on them. Vermiculite works well also. So I'm just going to cover now these celosia seeds with a little vermiculite, and make sure you plant them in a really sunny spot and water them in. And then usually the rain from Mother Nature takes care of their watering needs. So they're super easy to grow in your garden, and they look beautiful in a vase. You're going to have continual blooms from June through the first frost. And here's some seeds on this plant right here. I'm going to show you a close-up. Look how tiny they are. So they're the little black guys here, and they actually just sprinkle right off into your hand. I'm going to put a couple in my hand so you can see. Here's what they look like. They almost look like little pepper flakes. So each of these black little tiny pepper flakes, well, it looks like a pepper flake, is going to give you a celosia plant.
Thank you so much for joining us in this video, and please say hi to us over on my Cranberry Fields Instagram page. You can also find us on TikTok. And I made a whole bunch of podcasts for you. You can find those wherever you listen to your podcast. And please also let me know where you're viewing this from in this great, big, beautiful world. I love to see how our flower tribe is growing around the globe each week. Also check out our Kelly Lehman's Flower Tribe Facebook group, because there's thousands of gardeners from all over the world, and they're asking and answering loads of garden questions over there. And know that YouTube has allowed me to have a super thanks button attached to this channel. And if you'd like to buy us a cup of coffee, or let us know if you appreciate these videos, that would be terrific. Or you could just give us a like or a comment below. I would appreciate that. And I will see you guys in the next video.